Hi lovelies, and welcome back to another TikTok video. If you're new here, my name is Belinda Stranded and here is Ballistic Juice. Don't forget to please subscribe to this channel, turn on notification so that anytime I upload videos, you will be the first person to be notified. And to my returning subscribers, thank you so much for all the love and support. To those people that share my videos, leave commentaries, you guys are the real MVP. Thank you so much for all the love and support. I cannot take all those gestures for granted. All right lovelies, let's get into it. So guys, I came across this video on my For You page on TikTok and I thought to share with you guys where this IPAC has been in control. Like, they have been in control of what is happening, you know, in the United States and, you know, all over, and they have a huge influence about what is happening in Israel and all of that. They even went ahead to pay a certain amount of money, or planning to pay a certain amount of money, because they want to, you know, relieve so many, especially the black people, of their jobs and all of that. This actually got a lot of people talking, and I was able to put up some stitch from our black creators, guys. I'm just going to roll the clip as well as the stitches I was able to put together, guys. Just leave me your own thought in the comment section, and do not forget that this channel does not support any form of harassment, bullying, or whatsoever. We are just here for educational and informative purposes, guys. So do just, you know, listen, share this video, subscribe if you're not done that already, and let's get into the video.
When I talk about this next story, I want y'all to keep in mind, everybody who has been talking about we cannot be divided as Democrats, we have to beat Project 2025 and the return of Donald Trump. I want to ask y'all a simple question. Are any of you guys going to tell AIPAC this? Are any of you going to tell Israel-backed lobbying groups this same thing? Because talking to people on TikTok is one thing. Talking to a pro-Israel super PAC is another. I'm going to show you something. This is a screen grab from a good friend of mine, Miss Tabitha, who I will be tagging in this video so you can go back and see this. But basically what this says is, last week, the pro-Israel lobbying group AIPAC announced that it would spend upwards of $100 million to unseat all 8 members of the so-called squad in the 2024 midterm elections. So AIPAC and lobbying groups like them are going to spend upwards of $100 million to unseat 8 Democrats. Vote blue no matter who, or vote the blue we tell you to. I need you to understand this. I genuinely need to understand this, because if it's vote blue no matter who, then somebody needs to start telling some of these lobbying groups. You know, I find the hypocrisy of the people who have been trying to shame people into voting for Joe Biden to be disgusting. This is not something we're making up. Hill Harper came out last week. He came out this week and said this. AIPAC offered him $20 million to drop out of his U.S. Senate race and be an opponent to primary Rashida Tlaib in Michigan. And he turned it down. So this is not shocking to me that some of you motherfuckers that have spent 5 goddamn weeks shaming people for not wanting to vote Joe Biden or not thinking about Joe Biden. It's fucking disgusting that you motherfuckers have said shit about this. It's real fucking disgusting. So is it vote blue no matter who? Or is it vote for the blue we tell you to? Which one is it? Because if it's vote blue no matter who, when are some of y'all going to start telling AIPAC to stand the fuck down? And if it's vote for the blue we tell you to, exactly why are you shaming people for not voting for Joe Biden again? That sounds like some Republican shit. And let's just do a little doomsday scenario, shall we? So let's say AIPAC spends $100 million, primaries all 8 members of the squad. Number one, 8 members of the squad. With them, you have 212 motherfucking votes in the Congress. Without them, you have 204. So let's say all 8 members of the squad lose. Let's say all of them lose. They've all been primaried. That AIPAC money goes long. And they're all primaried by Democrats who are more sympathetic to fucking Israel. And then in the general election, they fuck around and lose to the Republicans. At best, you lose 2 to 4 seats. At worst, you lose all 8. Then what the fuck are you gonna do? What's gonna be the excuse then? Well, Joe Biden couldn't get anything done because he didn't have control of Congress. Oh, you mean like when y'all had 212 motherfucking Congress people on the Democratic side, now you only got 204? Sounds like a self-inflicted wound to me, home. Let's say that they primary them and only 4 of them lose their spot. And let's say they go to the general election and win. You're still down to 208. If you don't pick up any other motherfucking seats, you have 208. What you got then? Or is this just more ready-made excuses for why the Democrats can't do shit right? A lot of y'all have spent 5 fucking weeks shaming the dog shit out of people that said that they weren't going to vote for Joe Biden or they're thinking of voting for Joe Biden. Y'all have shamed them. And your motherfucking asses have been silent as shit when Democrats have shown you their ass and they've shown everybody else their ass and you said nothing. Just like a lot of y'all didn't say a goddamn thing when 22 Democrats got with fucking Republicans and censured Rashida Tlaib in Congress. The only Palestinian American congresswoman in American fucking history. They censured her, you said nothing. But you want to shame people with this Joe Biden gotta win, Project 2025, the return of Trump. But you're not gonna say nothing about this shit? You gonna sit on your motherfucking hands, stuff your mouth with goddamn tissue, and put tape over the top of it when this is happening? And if you are a Jewish progressive person, you should be doubly pissed off because they're doing this in your name. Birthright citizenship is a thing. Any Jewish person can go and live in Israel. They can visit Israel. It is set up for you. So AIPAC, at the behest of the Israeli government, are doing this in your fucking name. That should piss you the fuck off. You should be calling motherfuckers like, yo, the fuck are they doing? I thought this was the most important election of our lifetime, right? Fascism could come back, right? So you gonna sit your motherfucking ass there with your mouth goddamn closed while a goddamn lobbying group with ties to the Israeli government, not the Israeli people, the Israeli government are trying to fuck up the democratic elections? Where they do this at? Y'all ain't gonna say nothing though, right? Y'all ain't gonna say nothing. Y'all will shame people into voting for Joe Biden, but you won't shame AIPAC into shutting the fuck up, standing the fuck down, and leaving democratic motherfucking elections the fuck alone. Right? It's funny how that works. Funny how that works. I think it's hypocritical though. It's mad hypocritical. Because it shows that what y'all want us to focus on is the presidency. So that nothing gets done and Joe Biden is blameless. Oh, look at he didn't have control. Meanwhile, here's the control part down here, the Senate and Congress. Y'all are silent. Anybody can fuck them up. Who gives a shit, right? Right? The Republicans couldn't even fucking pick a Speaker of the House. It was Kevin McCarthy, then it was Jim Jordan, maybe, then it was Steve Scalise, maybe. Now it's Mike Johnson's punk ass. Marjorie Taylor Greene is out of here showing fucking revenge porn and shit. And you motherfuckers are going to stay silent as a lobbying group with ties to the Israeli government is going to fuck up your chances of even gaining fucking fucking gathering seats in the goddamn Congress. Y'all ain't gonna say nothing? Vote blue no matter who, except for the ones we tell you to. Is that what we doing right now?
Because if that's the motherfucking case, I'm going to need some of y'all to take the goddamn bass out your motherfucking voice when you talk to people about whether or not they should vote for Joe Biden or not. If you're not going to fight this battle all the way, sit your silly ass down on the goddamn sidelines. Because some of y'all are showing your motherfucking ass. This is not a secret. AIPAC said what the fuck they were going to do. And I noticed. Ain't nobody saying shit. Just quiet in the motherfucker, right? Quiet as fuck, right? But it's vote blue no matter who. Most important election in our lifetime. We got to get control. You mean we have to vote for the motherfuckers that a lobbying group tells us to vote for? You're showing your motherfucking hypocrisy. You really showing your goddamn hypocrisy. You let this motherfucking shit happen without a goddamn fight, without somebody raising some fucking some sort of a fuss. I don't want to hear a motherfucking thing about whether or not Joe Biden wins or motherfucking loses. I don't. This is not just, oh, it's Joe Biden or whatever. I don't want to hear that shit. Y'all talking about, what they gonna do? They ain't got no plan. I know one part of the plan should be stopping a goddamn lobbying group from getting rid of 8 motherfucking Democrats so they could fuck around and end up losing to the Republicans. I know that ain't part of the motherfucking plan. Like I said, your hypocrisy is showing and your silence is speaking a lot more than you think. I said what the fuck I said and I ain't taking it the fuck back.
As a veteran of the United States Armed Forces, this particular piece of document really, it's really bothering me. It's bothering the fuck out of me. So not only does AIPAC manipulate, influence, and dictate who we vote for in our elections, but they're also involved in our military. They wrote a series of papers called U.S.-Israel Relations, and there's 4 parts. The strategic value of Israel, part 1. Part 2, Israel and the United States Air Force. Part 3, the campaign to discredit Israel. Part 4, Israel and the United States Navy. I am going to read to you Israel and the United States Air Force. With that being said, I appreciate some coffee that might end up turning into bill money, as we really are going down this rabbit hole. The AIPAC is involved in our armed forces. So I'm going to read you the executive summary that was published in February of 1983. Let me go ahead and preface this for the people who are hard of hearing. This is not a 2023 document. This is a 1983 document. Okay, look, I'm even going to print it out right here. It was published in 1983. While the U.S. Air Force has not been permitted for political reasons to exploit fully the potential for strategic cooperation with Israel, Israeli assistance has been significant in a number of areas, including providing combat data on the performance of American and Soviet equipment in 1973 and in other wars, which significantly affects the United States Air Force expenditure of $2 billion per year on conventional forces, research and development, and $20 billion on non-nuclear procurement, meaning that they've been testing those weapons out on Palestinians. Demonstrating the vulnerability of Soviet SAMs and interceptors in Lebanon, which may force the USSR to divert large sums from their force expansion to force renovation and replacement. Contracting to overhaul and maintain engines and components for the United States Air Force aircraft in some of the world's most advanced facilities, helping to raise United States Air Force operational readiness, exchanging intelligence about Soviet and Soviet allied forces in the Middle East and the Mediterranean. However, the potential for future cooperation is considerably greater, including use of Israeli ports and airfields, as offered by Prime Minister Begin, access to which is much less likely to be denied abruptly than facilities in countries like Oman and Somalia. Providing deep cover for USAF military transport aircraft, which could be vulnerable to attack while moving vital equipment and supplies through the Mediterranean and the Middle East in crisis. providing secure and reliable storage facilities for USAF fuel and supplies, which must be pre-positioned in peacetime to support rapid deployment of large numbers of tactical aircraft in crisis. Substantially greater use of Israeli contract maintenance to improve readiness at a reduced cost. Use of Israeli facilities could be particularly important to USAF as a part of an overall Middle Eastern base mix, for which prudent planning requires at least one facility as reliable and secure fallback position in the event that access to other less reliable sites is denied. Curiously, the failure of the Air Force to exploit these opportunities seemed to have more to do with political objections than with defense effectiveness issues per se. Specifically, some feared that closer relations with Israel would impair ties with Arab countries and would be inappropriate because some of the policies of Israel differ from those of the United States. But these objections, which seem to have great intuitive appeal in some quarters, have not been subjected to careful analysis. For example, close relations with Israel has not in the past prevented increased American influence in the Arab world and may have enhanced influence. Our relationship with Israel is based on an enduring affinity between the peoples of two countries, and an agreement between two countries is likely to be respected by any future Israeli government. American arrangements with other countries in the region are often made with unpopular elites who may not remain in power or who may feel forced to abrogate agreements with the United States during periods of crisis. While there may be differences between the United States and Israel, the two countries have much more in common than exists between the U.S. and Oman, Somalia, Saudi Arabia, and not to mention Korea, Pakistan, and the Philippines. It is not necessary for a reliable ally to agree on every point. At a minimum, the potential cost and benefits of enhanced strategic cooperation with Israel need to be systematically compared with other policy options available in the United States before arriving to a final judgment. This has not been done. So this 1983 executive summary was for the APEC to lobby to the Pentagon and the United States government to strengthen their relationship by building an Air Force base in Israel. At the time, many politicians was against that because they saw it as a conflict of interest, especially a conflict of interest with their other allies in the Middle East. Fast forward to October 27, 2023, the Pentagon awarded a multi-million-dollar contract to build a U.S. troop facility for a secret base that is located in Israel's Negev desert, 20 miles from Gaza. If I was a betting woman, the reason why the Pentagon is failing their audits is because the money allocated to them is being resourced elsewhere that is not being reported. By law, you're supposed to report every single multi-million-dollar contract. And the fact that $35.8 million is not publicly announced for the construction of Site 512 base in Israel is extremely concerning. Do as you wish with this information. I may have to make this into a whole playlist because the APEC got their hands in everything. You name it, their hands are in it. So with that being said, I appreciate y'all donating to the coffee fund, because the coffee fund is about to be in escrow for potential bail money. On this episode of the APEC got their hands in everything, let's talk about American public school education. In my good old state of Virginia, let me show you how the APEC changed the entire curriculum in Virginia state education. And if I were you, I would look up your state too. The Institute for Curriculum Services formally requests changes to Virginia textbooks and teacher guides in coordination with Jewish Community Relations Council. The Institute for Curriculum Services is a California-based nonprofit organization that works behind the scenes to change curriculum and textbook references about Jews, Judaism, and Israel. In a January 31st, 2018 webcast that you'll find on YouTube, sponsored by the Jewish Council for Public Affairs, an umbrella organization, Jesus Christ, ICS head Eliza Kramer, Elias, made the following claims: that ICS has successfully made 11,500 changes to textbooks across America. When state education departments initiate textbook reviews, ICS works with Jewish community relations councils, usually unincorporated units inside major Jewish federations, to contact textbook review committees to review and submit change requests. Lead JCRCs submit these requests ICS changes. Common requests include changing references to Israel's wall, partially built across the Green Line, to security barrier or simply fence. In a January 31st, 2018 webcast that you'll find on YouTube, sponsored by the Jewish Council for Public Affairs, an umbrella organization, Jesus Christ, ICS head Eliza Kramer, Elias, made the following claims: that ICS has successfully made 11,500 changes to textbooks across America. When state education departments initiate textbook reviews, ICS works with Jewish community relations councils, usually unincorporated units inside major Jewish federations, to contact textbook review committees to review and submit change requests. Lead JCRCs submit these requests ICS changes. Common requests include changing references to Israel's wall, partially built across the Green Line, to security barrier or simply fence. Insistence on Arab agency in depictions of violence. For example, that textbooks not say war broke out between Israel and Arabs in 1948, but rather Israel was formed and Arab states attacked it. And this is how we did not know about the Nakba in 1948. They fucking removed it from the text. Jesus Christ, man. Kramer Elias of ICS claimed to have overcome input from a Muslim-oriented group in the Pacific Northwest that similarly tried to influence textbook content. The next initiatives ICS claimed to be working was the State of Virginia textbook review. JCPA President and CEO David Bernstein congratulated ICS, saying he knew it received a great deal of presumably financial support. They were bought out. Bernstein considers the other side of the political spectrum is on the issue to be the BDSers, those calling for the boycott, divestment, and sanction of Israel and anti-Israel groups. On February 1st, 2018, IMR MEP submitted a Virginia Freedom of Information Act request with the Virginia Department of Education for all copies of input submitted from or on the behalf of the Institute for Curriculum Services, Jewish Council for Public Affairs, or the Jewish Community Relations Council, or federations during the textbook review and approval process for history and social science textbooks. Below are the links to the original PDF covers and the responsive documents released by the state of Virginia on April 4th, 2018. Below are the PDFs are the Israel Lobby Archives selection of ICS quotes and comments on interesting and misleading proposed ICS changes in the textbooks. You can find all of this information on the Israel Lobby Archive. This is where I'm reading this from. Common themes in ICS requests to make changes to Virginia textbooks. Qualified claims of Islam as expressing Muslim religious belief while referencing those of Judaism as God's covenant. Replace Christian versions of key texts, such as the Ten Commandments, with Judaic versions. Emphasize the Jewish ethnicity of major American historical figures. Now, the emphasis of saying that to be Jewish is an ethnicity, this is recent. Like 2018 recent, because prior to 2018, if you were Jewish, it was a religion. That was it. No different than being Christian or being Muslim. It was a straight religion. Right around 2018 and later, all of a sudden, Jewish people was an ethnicity. And I never quite understood why the switch. Now I see it. When you recognize Jewish people as an ethnicity, they fall under the same provisions and protections as any other discriminatory crimes. They fall under the same protection of the 1964 Civil Rights Act. Even though religion is a protected entity, they wanted to add the extra provisions. That's just my guess. Eliminate the terms such as settlers, occupation, land theft, and wall, or replace it with more neutral terms such as disputed, captured areas, security fence, and controlled. Emphasize Arab culpability for the crisis initiated Israel's 1948 War of Independence, leading to military action, but not Israeli culpability. Example given, surprise Israeli airstrikes on Egypt commencing the 1967 Six-Day War. Discourage students from conducting open internet research on current events lest they run into controversial content. Instead, recommend approved websites such as the ADL and the JewishVirtualLibrary.org. Eliminate or replace historical artwork created for predominantly Christian audiences. Add content that augments Israeli claims to occupy territory in the Middle East, such as changing maps of the Golan Heights as belonging to Israel rather than Syria. Reference Israeli claims such as Israel annexed East Jerusalem as settled fact without referencing lack of official recognition by other nation states. Delete all references of Palestinian territories. Where ICS has already successfully lobbied for changes in the national edition of textbooks, it demands that it changes also be made to the state of Virginia editions. Publishers of textbooks targeted for change include National Geographic, Prentice Hall, Five Ponds, Press, Huffington or Houghton, Mifflin, Harcourt, and McGraw-Hill. Oh, sweet baby Jesus. The APEC, this is how, as an adult, I'm now learning about the Nakba. How, as an adult, I'm learning that Israel has been always the aggressor. And that since I was young, Israel has gaslit the American people into thinking they were the victim because they changed the entire curriculum.
Like, seriously, lovelies, no wonder, Israel has been getting a lot of support and all of that from, the United States, and all of this that's been happening between the Palestinians and all of it happening with Gaza. Like, Israel has been receiving a lot of support, and a lot of people ask, like, why is it that why is this happening? And we all forgot that the Israel lobby group, who happens to be IPAC, has had a very, very big influence in the in US. Like, this is just something that is heartbreaking. Like, a lot of people are just there, and this set of lobbies are the ones controlling and monitoring. Like, they virtually control what happens in general. They control what's happening in the UK and in the United States, and everybody just cool about this. No wonder a lot of people is just there, and there's nothing else anyone can do, and they don't even care about what is happening. The genocide has been committed, and they only put hands out, they put fingers, they keep pointing fingers at the Hamas and all of that, without even trying to think from this other point of view about the innocent lives or innocent citizens that have been unalive at the cause of all of this, and none of them is even trying any means to even stop this ceasefire. People have been clamoring around ceasefire. People have been, begging, trying to know how this could just, help to end what is happening between the people of Israel, Gaza, Palestinians, and all of this. Is not even bothering them at all. They don't care about those kids that has been on the line. They don't care about those innocent women. They only think about, okay, we are just sponsoring this, since they don't want to they don't want to leave this land. They will just keep on attacking them. They keep receiving, sponsorship from everything, from everywhere. Particularly the US, and this just baffles a lot of people. But now people are now beginning to realize that this Israel lobby, has a high hand concerning what is even happening. So what do you expect? They have gotten used to, this Israel lobby being in control of everything. What do you expect people that is in control of a particular set of government or a particular set of, country? What do you expect them to do? Why this thing that is happening between Gaza and Palestine? What do you expect them to do? Because they have already sold their own birthright. They've sold their own birthright to the Israeli lobbies that is controlling everything. They even went ahead to point with the upcoming election that they're gonna bring out a particular amount of money, or they've already set aside a particular amount of money to make sure that a particular set of people is being sacked or is being relieved from their job, or because they want to take full control. So it's not left for the individual. It's not left for the people of the country to know what to do concerning this. A lot of creators have been making videos. A lot of people have been making videos concerning what is happening between the Israeli lobbies and this IPAC of a thing, but no one is even coming out to bring up a suggestion. I know it's very difficult for you to fight people like this because they've already had influence. There's nothing anyone can do, but the least that we can all do is just to maybe keep on boycotting most of all this, to just make them understand that we are just everyone is just tired. Everyone is just practically tired. There was something they called a world holiday, or a world, that it happened yesterday. It's in the situation whereby we are not supposed to go out to work and all of that, in the respect of a ceasefire, just to respect that fact. We really need to do something more, and we'll just keep on using our voices. We can keep on using our voices, or whatsoever we can use, to make these innocent people, especially the people of the Gaza and the people of the Congo as well. There is a lot of genocide also happening in Congo right now. The media is not even, talking about it. A lot of people I don't care. This is why, Dr. Umar often say that we should focus more on what is affecting us, but it's not even happening. A lot of genocide is happening in Congo as well as Israel. But I think the one for Israel and Palestine, the Palestinian only just too extreme. When I go online, it's just there. When I just go online, it's just there. The Congo's own is also there. I even saw a video of a man, setting himself on fire just to get the media's attention. I think their own is not this pronounced, or because of maybe the level of their, the media coming from that side. So guys, just unpack your own, leave me your own thought in the comment section of what you think of this video. And do not forget that this channel does not support any form of bullying, harassment, or whatsoever. And you have watched up to this extent, and if you don't subscribe to this channel, please do your girl a huge favor to click on the subscription button, turn on the notification bell, so that anytime I upload videos, you'll be the first person to be notified. And also, please leave me your own thought in the comment section of what you think of this video. And also, if you're coming from Belinda's channel, thank you so much for all the love and support. I cannot take all the kind gesture for granted. And to my returning people that share these videos, oh my goodness, I am seeing you all. I cannot take all the love that you guys share on this channel. Like, this my new family, I cannot take all of them for granted. I love you, love you, love you so much. So please do your girl huge favor, share, subscribe, like, and I will see you when I upload my next. Bye.